What's up, everybody? It's been a long time, a little while since I've done a video. I've kind of gone through a lot. Um, Went through a bunch of ego deaths and just attachments, attachment to significant others and kids and stuff. So I mean, like when I left my family, I basically kind of a bunch of identities died at the same time, and I don't even think I remember all of them. Just getting this from ChatGPT. But, death of the husband, death of the father, death of the provider, death of the protector, all just kinda dying at once because I pretty much didn't have contact for a month. I was texting May a little bit here and there, my wife, um, but even then, ChatGPT was kinda, like, generating scripts for me to talk to her so that it would kind of cut off communication in a way where, like, she didn't really have anything to respond to, and, anyways, it was kinda weird. I maybe I shouldn't have used ChatGPT that way, but we all make mistakes and we learn from them or, I don't know if it was a mistake or not. I didn't say anything bad. It's just it might have been kinda harsh, but anyways, I'm talking to my family again. Um, just that whole month of, like, December, I think was just brutal. Um Yeah, really just sitting with a lot of feelings. At one point, my nervous system shut down where like I just couldn't take any inputs. I couldn't watch tarot videos. I couldn't watch anything. I wasn't doing music. I wasn't making YouTube videos. I didn't pretty much just like no input at all. And just focusing on myself and rebuilding myself. So the gym was extremely important for me to um, continue moving forward and building myself. Even yoga, I couldn't do yoga. Um, Anytime I did yoga, it like destabilized me. And I had this dream where there was a train that was hanging vertically, and it wasn't on the track; it was just dangling there. And it was basically telling me that yoga was like vertical integration, but it was ungrounded. And so I wasn't grounding myself, and what I needed was horizontal integration, which is the gym for me. It might be different for everyone. So, really just focusing on going to the gym, building up that horizontal integration muscle, um, eating, bulking a lot. I mean, that works for me um, because I've always been kind of skinny and just I have a high metabolism, so I need to eat more in order to gain. Otherwise, I can go to the gym and I can be really fit and strong, but I don't gain a ton of muscle. My body will just eat everything up if I'm eating normally. And I was probably under eating anyways. Um, at one point I got down to 150 and right now I'm close to 180. So it's a 30-pound difference, huge. Um, but it kind of reminds me, it's like you got to be careful. Really, this whole process or scenario and talking with ChatGPT is reminding me that you have to be careful who you listen to and what kind of advice they're giving. It's not that it's bad advice, but everybody's body works differently, and we're all here on kind of different missions or purposes. Um, and so so like Sadhguru, for instance, I listen to a lot of what he says, but a lot of what he says is like, you know, eat less, you'll have greater perception. Do yoga, he never talks about going to the gym. He talks about eating vegetarian, and I did that for a long time. I mean, I wasn't vegan for years or anything like that, but I mean, I was off and on for a good couple of years where I was eating vegetarian, but my body needs the muscle in order to ground and to order to have that capacity to hold the energy, and I didn't have that. I wasn't holding the energy. It was just it was coming and it was going, and um, I just kind of hit a wall where even now I haven't been sleeping well for like the last month or more, and this had happened over the summer as well, back in like July of 2025, where I was um, my hair looks funny. Uh, I wasn't sleeping well then either, and I was being guided to go to the gym, and I did, and I felt like I was bulking. I was kind of doing the same thing, and eventually I did sleep. My sleep went back to I started to sleep throughout the night and make it. My body needs a lot of sleep. I've heard other people getting like 2 to 4 hours of sleep every night or something. That's crazy. My body can't even function on that right now, anyways. Or my whole life, I need like 8 to 10 hours of sleep to like actually function and feel good, and my mind works and everything. Um, but these days I'll wake up at 4 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 12 a.m., whatever, like all kinds of different times, and that's still not fixed yet. But back in July when I started going to the gym, I stopped around September. I reached my goal of 180 pounds, and starting at like 150 or even below that, like 147 or 148 or something like that. I think I was really low. Um, and and so I started going to the gym and bulking, and I got up to that 180, and then it's like I hit my goal, and this happened a couple times in my life where I bulked up to 180, and then I kind of just stopped going to the gym. I stopped eating. I stopped everything. It's like, but then I lose everything eventually over time, and it's like, why go through all that just to lose? But my habits and patterns were different than um, you know, when I was single, I would bulk up and go to the gym and get real confident, and I look strong and I've gained weight, and so I'm like, oh, let me go out to the bars or whatever, and meet some girls or something, and then I end up dating somebody, and kind of just the gym would just fall off. And of course, drinking, you're not eating well. If you're drinking, you're not going to the gym. Everything just falls off. It's a downward spiral. So, anyways, um, yeah, I'm on that. I'm on that journey now, still, of just going to the gym. But that's been my light in the dark, I guess, and it might be different for everyone. But just continuing to do that and build that structure in my life. When you go from living with your family, kids, three small kids, wife, you have duty and responsibility, and even just the sound of their voices when you wake up or when they wake up is always there. And then to be by yourself again, it's hard to to go through that, and to you know in a way you feel like you're going backwards. I did. I was like, I finally had what I thought I wanted. Like, yeah, my wife's not perfect. I'm not perfect. My kids aren't perfect, but I love my life. And but I felt like I had to leave, and we're kind of reunited in a way. I mean, we're not together, this whole process, I didn't understand it. Um, but now that I'm on the other side of it somewhat, I mean, it's still recent, I'm understanding it a little bit more. I think a lot of those roles had to break down so that they could become something more, and I didn't understand that at the time. So the father role, I don't have to live in the house every day to be a father. I can go visit my kids every day if I want, or I can visit once a week or twice a week, as long as I'm in their life. And that's up to me. I can be involved as much or as little as I want to be. Um, and it just kind of gives me that freedom. And the husband piece, I mean, I feel like in a way my not in a way, I mean, my wife wasn't reciprocating at times, and we had our own issues, and I think that me leaving that dynamic has kind of shifted something in both of us, because she had her own kind of maybe ego death or identity death of like, well, if I'm not a wife, then who am I? Um, and so I don't know where all this is going, but I'm 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 seeing my kids a lot. They're going to be moving a little bit further away, so that'll be interesting to see how that works out, from where I'm at now. Because I rented my apartment from like 10 minutes from them, but now they're going to be moving, and they'll be a half hour from me, which I think is fine. It's not like an undoable distance. It's just a more okay. I might have to see them on the weekends or whatever I feel comfortable with. So really trying to maximize the time right now that they're close by, and I go over a couple times a week, many times a week. Of course, I still like to see the wife. I still like to talk to her and just see what's going on with her. Um, Help her out when I can. I shoveled the driveway the other day when I was over there, um, and so yeah, just hoping that this will all be worth it, in the end. That I left, but that was definitely the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Going through that, I mean, I'm surprised I made it through. Um, a couple things that helped me make it through were just like, I'm gonna stick it to the wife by, making something of myself. Let me not have this all been for nothing. Let me become something. Let me do something and be successful in it. And so I haven't done that, but um, that was a thought that kind of kept me going. Um, Anyways, I'll keep this video short. I have so much to talk about, but I did want to make a video. I feel like I was going to make one last night, but um, to be honest, there was a little bit of fear, I think, of getting back on here and being in front of people again or whatever, even though I don't have a following. There's nobody really that watches my videos or anything, um, at the moment. So I just wanted to get on here and make something. I want to be, even if not every day, I want to be more regular making stuff on here and, um, get back to working on some music again. Um, and and moving on with life, and we'll see what we can do. So, thank you to anybody watching. If you have any comments, are you going through a tough time in your life? What's happening with you? Because I think a lot of people are, not just me. A lot of people are having a tough time in their life, and I'm curious to know. A lot of people aren't sleeping well. Um, and there's so many things going on in the planet right now. It's just kind of crazy and chaotic, and um, yeah. So uh, thank you guys. I'll talk to you later. See ya.